Welcome to the ABOV Mentality Podcast, inspiring stories of success by extraordinary people. And now, your host, H.J. Sanchez.
Hello, everybody. This is H.J. Sanchez, and welcome to another episode of the Above Mentality Podcast. This is episode number 2. Today, I have the pleasure and honor to have this guest as my next guest. Obviously, he is a friend of mine. I know him from while back ago. I think I consider him my brother from another mother. So, with that said, let me introduce him. His name is Efrain Hernandez. Efra,
Hey
how
man, how
are
are
you?
you? Man, super happy to be here, excited, and thank you for the invitation. Really appreciate it, man.
No, no, super. I
Never
mean,
thought we're gonna be in this type of conversation after a full year live of knowing each other. So,
I know, I know.
man, really appreciate it.
No, no. For those of you who don't know us, basically, we grew up together in Ponce, Puerto Rico. We went to the same school. We played basketball together. We get into the same fraternity together. I mean, it's been a long journey together. And Efrain
We have
has
some
a
stories.
yeah, we have some stories to share. Efrain has a great story, a very motivational one, and basically that's why I decided to invite him to share his story. So, Efra, again, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it.
Efra, so let's start with you grew up in Puerto Rico, like we said, right?
Yes, I was born actually in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. But I'm a Ponceño by adoption. I just live in Mayagüez for like a couple of months, and
Yep.
the rest of my life I spent in Ponce. So I said that I'm Ponceño 100%. And
100%.
you know that we from Ponce have kind of a different proud of
I
of being
know.
from Ponce, Puerto Rico. Yeah, I lived
Sometimes
there
a
all
little
my
bit over
life.
the top.
What was that?
Sometimes a little bit over the top, our
Yeah,
pride, but
sometimes a little bit of the top, and as soon as you said someone that you're from Ponce, people is like, oh yeah, really. So, but no, we're one of those that nice people, right? Yeah,
yeah.
I lived there all my life until I was, I think, 18, which I went to college in San Juan, and then I lived there until 7 years ago that I
Okay.
moved to Florida.
So you grew up in a family of 5, right?
Family of six.
Of 6. Yeah. Oh my God, 6. Yeah, I forgot how. Family of 6. You're the elder. So tell me, how was that? I mean, your life growing up. I know, obviously, because I know you. You were not forced, but somehow forced to go to work at a very early age just to uh, contribute and help support
Yeah.
the family. So tell us about your childhood.
But I said I have a really great childhood, right? We were lucky enough to be the ones that I think the last ones of being able to go outside and play and have fun and getting your bicycle and be out there until
Yes.
uh, 6 p.m. in which the sun was going down and you have to go back to your home. But my parents didn't know where we were until late in the afternoon. I played basketball.
Yep.
All my siblings also were engaged in sports.
In
My
sports.
parents were really supportive of that. Working family.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, at some point in time, getting into the teens, I started to work, like summer jobs and stuff like
Yes.
that, and then when we decided that I wanted to go to college, I needed to work to support the help that my family was giving me, but it was we needed a little bit more of resources to be able to get
Sure.
through college. So yeah, I started. I mean, I remember I have a summer job, like in a summer camp, maybe when I was like, I don't know, 14. And then since that point, I worked
Ever
since.
since. Yeah, yeah, so true. So Efra, you're now a manager, right? You're in the management of the digital communication technology company. Was that always like your plan, your vision going into college, or you were undecided? What was that?
My college, as you may remember, my college experience was interesting. Uh, when I first joined college, I joined the honor program for the pre-med program at the UPR Ponce, University of Puerto Rico in Ponce.
Yes.
And I was at that point, I was decided I'm gonna be a doctor. And I was looking to be a surgeon actually.
Oh, wow.
Uh, but when I started, uh, after I think my first semester, I didn't relate to that at all.
Okay.
And I was having good grades, I was doing good, but it was not having the effect on me of me looking at continue doing that. So
Okay.
that opened a really weird time in terms of what I want to do, what I will end up doing,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna be my next move. So I moved a couple of times. So my college experience extends a little bit
Yeah.
more than the usual 4 or 5 years. I ended college in doing 6 years, but
It
I
happened to
changed
the
my
best of us, right?
yes. So again, at that point in time, it was, I think everybody was thinking about, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. But as soon as you get in front of that, I'm not sure. So I changed from a natural science career that I started to business,
Okay.
uh, mostly accounting. Again, nothing that got into me. My brother at that time was starting engineering school in San Juan, Paco, and
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm gonna go and do engineering. So I jumped to
Why
the
not?
Polytechnic University of Puerto Rico, and I started electrical engineer, and then I got to physics. And the only bad grade that I have since I remember in my life was physics, and
Physics.
and I was like, this is not it. At that point in time, there was a lot of hype, if you will, with everything that had to do with industrial management, manufacturing,
Okay.
quality control, material management. And the Polytechnic University of Puerto Rico have a program in business uh, with a major in industrial management. So at the end, I ended up doing a business degree, a bachelor's degree, with a major in industrial management. So
Okay.
technology was not considered. To answer your question, the answer is no.
Okay.
It came as part of uh, not a plan, but things were starting to get on in place, and then I ended up doing that. As soon as I graduated in '99, I received a call from a friend that she landed a job as an HR manager in
Okay.
a system integrator in Puerto Rico, and they were looking for someone to manage the material management, purchasing, logistics. So industrial management was really related. So I'm like, yes, this is my chance. So I started in January of 2000 as a purchasing and logistics manager in this local company that was a technology systems integrator, and that
Okay.
is where I start being, exposed to technology, right?
To technology. Okay. I remember then you basically changed job and base. I mean, being in Puerto Rico, that took you to the industry, right, of digital communication. It was Anister or no?
Yeah, I when I was in this job about doing purchasing, I spent 5 years from 2000 to 2005. So
Okay.
there I learned a lot about, at the beginning I was purchasing everything technology related, but I have
Technology
no clue
related.
what that was. I have no
Okay.
clue what the equipment was for or anything like that. So I started to get uh, engaged with the engineers and the technical people to know what I was actually buying, right? So it created a lot of knowledge in me about what I was actually doing, right?
Okay.
And in that, the one of my vendors, the person that was actually the account manager for our business, was moving to a family business,
Okay.
and he called me one day and I said, "Hey, you are in purchasing, but I think you have some great knowledge of the brand that we were working at the time, and the technology gear that we were working on. That I think you will be a good fit to replace me here on the other side, doing sales
Of course.
and product management in that. So I jumped into Answer, which is a important and big distributor of technology, actually worldwide. Working in Puerto Rico, managing now disappeared brand that is called Nortel.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody will remember that because of the phones. So I spent 3 years there, and actually then Nortel, because I was working with them, they were looking for someone, the actual Nortel manufacturing company of technology equipment at that time, and I jumped into from the distributor to the actual brand.
Okay.
So I started there in 2008 until 20 mid of 2009,
Okay.
because unfortunately Nortel had a lot of difficulties and financial difficulties and ended up being out in bankruptcy. So I jumped from Nortel to the company that was buying Nortel at that time. That was a buyer, a company that manufactured telecommunication equipment in the phone industry,
Okay.
contact center and all that. And I jumped there to work as a channel account manager for the Caribbean. So I
Okay.
was responsible for everybody that was the reseller uh, for the Avaya product in the Caribbean. So I worked there uh, for 3 years until 2012. At the end of my time in Avaya, I ended up being the territory manager for Dominican Republic
Okay.
for some time, and then there was this time in 2012 that the person that hired me in Nortel that used to be my boss there called me one time and said, "Hey, I joined Cisco a
Oof.
couple of months ago. I'm restructuring my whole team, and I will let you to be part of that
Wow.
team." So I joined Cisco in 2012, and I have been in Cisco for 11 years now, with different
Excellent.
roles there that we can talk about that later. But
Perfect.
that's a little bit of the history of how I get into technology and where I am right now.
Okay. Efra, I mean, now you are in Cisco. I mean, that's a big player in your sector. And to summarize or fast forward the story, I mean, I see your professional career nothing but all the way up, right? From being in Puerto Rico and being management purchasing materials to get directly to one of the vendors to then start managing Puerto Rico, managing Dominican Republic, all the way up, right? And I want for you to take us to that 2019, to the year 2019, specifically the month of May, or I mean closer to that month. Uh, so please
Yeah,
share
sure.
that story.
So I was in Cisco since 2012, and I was in Puerto Rico managing the territory until 2016 December. At that point, I got the opportunity to move to the management position of the mid-size and select accounts for Central America and the Caribbean. So that is when I moved to the US, right?
Yep.
So man, great opportunity. I took the opportunity and embraced it and started to work
A
really
new
hard on
challenge.
that. Yeah, it was super experience, great opportunity to be exposed to other markets that I was not exposed to. Uh, and everything was going really good actually. So I started there in January of 2017. As I was doing great. I was actually, going into different managers meetings. We went to Vancouver at some point, and then in that 2019 year, we were in a managers meeting in Barcelona. We did an event in the Camp Nou. It was amazing. So I at that point in time, I felt that I was doing
I made it.
really good. I was really in a good position in my career, and on my personal life, everything was also going good. Everything was stable. So man, I was having a great time. And then uh, on a routine visit to my doctor, just as a follow up, I mentioned that I saw something weird. The doctor said, let's do a really simple exam, and get to the lab, do it, and
Hmm.
get back to me. And I did it. It was maybe March, April 2019, and something came, like it was kind of off, and she referred me to a gastro.
Okay.
So when I got there, uh, good thing was we just started to talk. And Gastro was Puerto Rican, so we kind of clicked really fast, right? And he was like, "Yeah, let's do this. I have to do a colonoscopy, right?
Colonoscopy.
Because that's the only way that I will be able to tell you that everything is fine. It would be really unlikely for you to have anything because you are 44 years old. But again, I need to do it in the correct way and make sure that we do the procedure that needs to be done. And we scheduled the procedure for May 1st. And if you know, May 1st is my birthday.
Your birthday. Yep.
The only way that I was able to do that on time was in that day because I was traveling the next 3 weeks. So I told him, like, hey, if we don't do it this day, which again is my birthday, not necessarily great to do a colonoscopy on your birthday, but I will need to wait until the end of the month. He was like, man, dude, come on, let's do that. It's gonna be a couple of hours.
Yep.
At lunch, you're gonna be out, and then you get the rest of your day. You get your birthday day going as usual.
As planned.
But
Yep.
that was not the case. When I wake up in the recovery module in the clinic, he came to me and said, hey, we need to talk. And
Ooh.
at that point, he told me, I found a mass in your upper part of the colon. And based on my experience, again, we already sent it to biopsy, but based on my experience, it's cancer.
Wow.
That was a life-changing experience. It's like
I can
someone
imagine.
come to you and hit you with a bat on your head, right there. My wife Marines was right beside me. We look at each other and we were like, what the hell happened here? Where how we were 2 hours ago, everything was fine, and right now we are on a totally different
Wow.
situation,
Wow.
right?
Wow. That's
Uh,
that's a very tough moment for anyone, Efrain. And just to provide some context here, because I also, in my career, I work with a lot of colorectal surgeons, and I know a few facts. And right now, colorectal cancer incidence is higher in adults
correct,
or younger than 45 years old.
correct.
So for
Actually,
those
I
of
saw
you who are listening, please
absolutely.
do your checkup at 40, at 45, I mean, earlier than 50, because the incidence is very, very high. So, Efra,
And that changed a lot in the last couple of years based on what you just said. I saw a report a couple of months ago that it is now official that the age for you to get the checkup
Oh yeah,
was moved from 50 to 40,
yeah. They changed the guidelines. Yeah.
because when I was diagnosed, I was kind of an exception. Right now, unfortunately, it's not longer than that. There's
It's
a
the
lot
rule.
of people getting colorectal cancer and other diseases
Yes.
before 50. I remember I have a friend that was with me during the process, and he got kind of scared, and he asked his doctor to refer him to do a colonoscopy just as a checkup.
Yep.
And they said, you don't need it. You're 45 at that point in
Hmm.
time. And he ended up paying by himself, not
Out
using
of
the
pocket.
insurance,
Yeah.
because the insurance was not covering, because he was not in the targeted age to do that. And now, 4 years, 5 years, I'm sorry, almost 5 years after that,
It
it's a
is.
different story. Now it's more than, if you're 40 or more, now you have to at least get some kind of test.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, as you mentioned, it was a really, really hard time, a really difficult time to just hear that, you don't think at any point in time you're gonna have that. I was, as I said, professionally and personally in a great moment in my life,
Yes.
in my career. Health wise, actually, I was in the best shape that I remember being since I stopped playing basketball at like 16, 17. I
Hmm.
was running, I was doing a lot of activity, and I was not expecting that at all.
Wow. 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 Definitely a life changing experience. Once again, for those of you listening, please get your checkup as soon as you get to 40 years old. Uh, Efra, what went through your mind? Obviously, I mean, we must know, but how the disease changed your mind and your perspective and your view of life?
Man, it changed 180 degrees. It's a full change. At that moment, I remember I everything that I thought that was important was not important anymore.
Like what,
And
Efra?
sometimes, man, stupid things that you sometimes think about, your
Yep.
house, your car. I don't know. I'm gonna go in vacation to X place, and that nothing of that was
Traffic.
traffic. Being mad about being in the road, and man, all that disappeared, and I was like, what do I need to do to get out of this? I forgot about everything else, and I was just thinking about what do I need to do to to stay alive,
Hmm.
and what do I need to do to get through this with my family. That was the only thing that you were thinking at that moment. Anything else that in our day to day we were thinking about doing or worrying about disappear in 2 milliseconds.
Wow.
Your perspective changed because now you are in survival mode. What do I need to
Survival.
do to stay here? And that's what we need to think and to change at that point in time. And I think that was, again, nobody knows how you're gonna react. And I
Sure.
can tell you here that I was always thinking about doing that. If something happened, that's a lie. You're not prepared for that. I don't know exactly why I thought like that. I think that everybody have like a survival mode, and it got activated like that. And again, that was it. And then I started to work on that. That was my main focus at that point in time. I
Sure.
forgot about work. I forgot about everything that was not necessary to save my life. What do I need to do? I
Wow.
was really lucky to have, as I mentioned before, I do kind of a really instant click with the doctor, Dr. Reyes Ramos Castro in Orlando right now.
Okay.
He moved there, but doctor, wherever you are, you saved my life. Uh, And he said, go upstairs, and I'm gonna give you. When you're not going out of this building without an appointment already with
For
the
surgery.
University of Miami Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center. I'm gonna refer you there, and they're gonna take care of you. So I was
Mm.
really lucky for him to say like instantly, you don't go out until you get a an appointment. And I that happened exactly like that. I went upstairs. Obviously, I was in shock. Martinez was. We both were like, what's happening.
Wow.
And we go out of there with an appointment. And we started like after 2 or 3 days. We went to the first appointment, and then from that point on, we started a whole process.
So Efra, in so you went to surgery, but I remember, I mean, you went to surgery for the cancer in the colon, right?
Yeah.
But then, if it was enough, being diagnosed with colorectal cancer, then you have another low blow after another low blow. Talk to me about.
So, like, really quick, I started chemo on May 24th, 24 days after my first diagnosis. So again, lucky that I was able to get there and be like really fast. So the plan was we're gonna do chemo, and then we're gonna be if everything goes as planned, we're gonna do surgery. We're gonna remove as much as we can, right?
Sure.
Uh, and then we take it from there. Um, the the diagnose got a little bit uh, more difficult because when I did my first CT scan and PET scan, they found that it was metastasized to the liver. So that changed the whole thing. And then again, we changed kind of plans, do the chemo and the surgery. Ended up being 6 months after because the chemo did its job. I was nine hours under. It was tough, but they managed to get the colon tumor, which was the main one.
Mm-hmm.
They remove it, and then they remove most of the masses that I have on the liver, except
Liver.
one, which was really liver, but was in a difficult place. And after 9 hours in surgery,
Wow.
the doctor said, you know what, let's stop because it's gonna be risky from this point on.
Sure.
So let's stop, and then we deal with that specific little mass that it's there later. So that was in November, and going into April, we did a kind of a non-invasive procedure that's called ablation, in
Uh-huh.
which, in regular popular terms, it's like if you get an injection in the side of your body where the liver is, and with that injection, they kind of quote unquote burn that mass
Yeah.
uh, with a procedure and some technology that they use, and you go to your home. Like, it's not invasive other than the injection, right?
Okay.
So it went okay. It got the the final mass burned, if you will, and every other checkup was going great until 2022. That in a follow up, which again, everybody, if you have someone that you know, or you're going through anything that it's health related, don't fail into your follow ups. That saved my life.
Yeah.
So I was doing a follow up on June or July 2022, and they found in a CT scan that I have two small masses in my right lung.
Oh my God.
So again, I was in remission for that time, and then I got that. So the doctor said, you know what, I'm not even gonna do a biopsy. We're gonna remove it, because we have to be extremely proactive.
Okay.
So that's what we did. In October, we ended up doing thoracic intervention with a machine that you know well, the
Sure.
Da Vinci robot that it's used for that kind of intervention, and they removed one of the two masses because one was really, really small to the point that it was really difficult to see it. Right, it was showing on the CT scan, but it was really difficult to go there when you're
To
actually
reach.
in. to
Yeah.
reach, right? And that went okay until 2023. No, I'm sorry, that was 2021. I'm sorry, that's what's 2021. July 2021, and then July 2022 on another checkup, they noticed that this mass that they were not able to remove grew, but just maybe a millimeter. But again, my doctor has been really proactive and really
Sure.
aggressive, and he said, "You know what? Let's remove it." Now it's in a point, even growing a little bit, 1 millimeter, it's gonna be okay for us to remove it.
It's a
So
red flag.
again, we
Yeah.
talked to the thoracic surgeon, and we did a second intervention similar as the one that we did in 2021 in November. Actually, mostly it's almost the same day to the day for a year anniversary of the first one. We did the second one, and again they removed it. The margins came back okay. So I've been without anything in remission since October 2022. It's gonna be 2 years in this October
Wow.
this year. A year and 7 months now, something like that. So yes, it was super low blow, followed by a couple of jabs,
I know.
and then a left hook.
To the body.
So yeah, it was tough. It was tough because at that point in time I was getting better, and then I got the news about the lung, and I was like, oh my god, again, here we go again.
If I mean, I can't imagine having that news of colorectal cancer, how it shook you off, right? And then keep receiving year after year, so any year and a half, another another bad news and another bad news. Obviously, the question is basic, but I mean, were you scared?
Oh yes, scare as hell.
and and,
Absolutely.
and what kept you, I mean, keep you fighting? I mean, what was going through your mind after receiving low blow after low blow, but they keep fighting? I mean, what was your mentality during that tough process?
And family, my kids, man, my wife and my kids, my parents, my siblings, my friends. I was like, man, I have
To
uh,
fight for?
a lot to fight for. I need to do a lot of things that I would love to do with my family, with my friends, with my kids. So I remember that when I made the call, and this is important, the first call that I did when I was diagnosed was to you. I don't know if you remember that, but I
Of
called you
course.
like, hey, dude. I just got. I remember as it was today. I was in the parking lot when I got out of that colonoscopy.
I remember.
So when I did the call to my siblings, I remember I sent them a message. I'm like, I need to talk to the three of you as soon as possible. Uh, and that's one of the hardest calls that I've had to do in my whole life. Uh,
I can
the
imagine.
other one that is most difficult than that one is the conversation with my kids. Uh, I I
At the
don't.
time, they were what?
Fabiola was 18 and Jampi was 10, 11.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
teenagers.
Correct, 18 and 11. Uh, I will not like for anybody to go through that. Even I don't have enemies. But if 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 I will have enemies, not even to my enemies, I will I would like for them to go through that. That's the worst conversation that I've needed to have in my whole life.
Wow.
With my siblings was a tough one. But I remember in that conversation that I told him at the end when we were talking about what happened, and the plan that we have at that time was not necessarily completed but was started.
Sure.
I remember I told them, "This is not gonna kill me." I remember I using those specific words. This is not gonna kill me, and it may sound rough, and it may sound super positive and optimistic, but I think that's the only way that you deal with this.
Oh yeah.
If you start to fail in a sadness or or just thinking about, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it, you will not make it. Again,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that you need to do. It's not that you're gonna be really positive and everything's gonna go away, but that's the only way in which, at least for me, was the only way to get in front of these and put a battle to it. And
Yeah.
I remember saying, this is not going to kill me. And you can talk to the three of them, and they will remember that I told them, this is not going to kill me. And then from that point on, I took that as my motto. This is not, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to lose this fight. I don't give a fuck about this. This is not going to kill me. Uh, Obviously, I was really, I have been, and I'm still being super uh, responsible with the follow-ups and the appointments and all that. But more than that, which is the medical side of it, uh, the support that I started to got since day one
Sure.
was unbelievable.
It's key.
And to have a support system that can help you go go through that, it's key. I was
Definitely.
never alone in any of my first 12 chemos, and I did 20. I
Wow.
have a couple of friends here in Fort Lauderdale that were with me every single time. At some point in time, the five of them were there. At some other one or two, sometimes Marines got me there and they got there so she can go out, because my sessions of chemo were like 6, 7 hours the whole
Oh
day
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So they were there with me, like, kind of cheering, like, Efra, let's go, let's do it. And then afterwards, days after that, you start to feel really bad. I remember Marines have like this WhatsApp group, which it was called like 911. So every time I was down or feeling like super bad, she sent a message like, guys, call.
Sure.
And a lot of people, our other friends, the people that was there with me, my siblings, my parents, our friends that about from college, that it's like my family now. uh, Everybody was jumping in at some point in time. I have people visiting me. You guys were there when I got the surgery, a couple of weeks after the surgery. You come down and visit with other friends. I have people staying in my home, taking care of Marines and myself,
I know.
my kids. So
A great
support was
supporting
key.
system. Definitely, definitely,
Yeah,
is key. I mean, based on what you just said, I mean, your mentality must be tough, like a warrior, right? A fighter. This is not gonna kill me. You have to not only think it but declare, right? Declare it,
yeah, absolutely.
and also your supporting system, family, extended family, friends, being there just to support. And the third thing that I want to touch, Efrain, is, I mean, we haven't talked about this, but faith, your faith, it was important in this process.
Yes, absolutely, man. Because you have to have something that holds you. Because you're gonna have times in which you're gonna just say, again, I was really positive and optimistic, but that doesn't mean that I was like that 24/7 all the way through the whole process.
Of
There were
course.
some times in which I sit down, I'm like, I'm not gonna make it
Hmm.
because this is too hard. Now, sometimes I was feeling so bad after a chemo that I was like, I'm gonna give up, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
again, faith was there to hold you, like, okay, dude, you gotta keep going. And then you started adding like faith, people, your mindset, uh even work. I never stopped working, and people is like, why do you do that? Because it took my mind out of thinking about the disease
Sure.
24/7.
Kept your mind
As soon
busy.
as
Yeah.
I every time I got chemo, I was like 3 days out, and then I came back to work next Monday. I usually did chemo on Wednesday, next Monday, and I work until the next one 2 weeks after that. And people is like, why do you do that? Because I was thinking about work, and everything that I was doing, and everything that I needed to do. Um, Again, not that they were not supporting. They told me, don't, you don't have to come here. You don't have to do anything. We got your back. My team at that point in time, my boss, my direct boss, the director of my division, the VP of my division, everybody reached out to me. You don't have to do this. If you need time, you have all the time that you
all the
need.
time.
Your job is going to be there. So that was also really important because, again, I was not to worry about if I'm going to lose my job or not. But I did actually keep working because my mind was occupied.
Yeah,
I was not thinking about the disease. So again, it's a lot of things: faith, people, friends, family, job, my work. If you get all of that and you put it in a blender, what you get out of that is how I did it. That
yeah,
is how I did it. Again, I have to put a lot of effort on it, but the all the people that was behind me, like pushing me on that hill, not to go down, was like all that people, which was a lot. I have people that send me. I have a really great friend that's she sent me a text message every single day
wow,
for like 8 months, without failing just one day. Every single day I woke up and a message from her
there
was
was a
there.
message there.
So again, many things in many different ways that put together make it to for me to be able to do it. And obviously, the place in which I got my treatment, the doctors.
Of course.
um, I was able to get some treatment that was new, like super new, uh, that I was part of that helped me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, in the same way that we said that in the last 5 years, colorectal cancer has been going more into younger people. There's also a lot of technology and a lot of treatments that are now saving more lives. So again, it's not a death sentence. You have to treat it. There's a lot of more ways to treat it and for you to have a chance, and that's also important, right?
Yeah.
And again, sometimes I mention, this is not gonna get me killed. It's dead. Words that are really strong, but that's reality. That's the reality. We cannot keep that. We cannot sugarcoat it.
Nope.
That's what you think, and that's what people need to understand. It's there, and you have to fight against it
It's
because
a
if you
fight.
try
It's a
to
word. So
yeah, if you try to keep it away and not think about those things, you're not thinking about what is actually can happen, right? So again, it's uh, one of the things that try to destigmatize. I don't know if that's a word in our broken English here, but uh, to make sure that people get comfortable talking about these things that sometimes people don't, and it's out there. It's not a taboo anymore.
nope.
We need to make sure that people know about it, that it's serious, but you have a chance.
Yes, definitely, definitely. If you do your checkup, there's always a chance. In your case, unfortunately, again, you were part of those first wave of that new trend of the disease moving into younger generations, and maybe you got diagnosed late stage. But thank to God, your mentality, your supporting system, the great doctors, surgeons, the technology available, you were able to make it, Efra. And I'm saying this, and I feel very proud of being your friend. I mean, I've known you forever. You've always been a fighter with a fighting spirit. So, I mean, praise to
Sometimes
God
more than I
that
need it.
praise to God for this miracle, actually.
Yeah, man. I think it's one of those things that uh, explanations sometimes are difficult to get, right? But it's again, it's a whole package of things
Yes.
that make this and the outcome that we have. I mean, my main if you're gonna get something, if everybody that is watching this, if you're gonna get something out of this podcast, is that you have to go and get checked if you see something or feel something weird. Sometimes, no, that's not gonna be anything, or I don't care. That's not that bad, or I don't. That's not gonna be nothing. If I didn't ask my primary doctor about that at that point in time, I was not feeling anything other than
Yeah.
that.
It's a
I
silent
was not
disease.
having any symptoms, and I'm pretty sure that if I waited a couple of months, um, I was gonna end up in the hospital because of something major uh, produced by my cancer at that time that was not found. So I was, I would say, lucky enough, or maybe responsible enough to tell my doctor I was
Yep.
noticing something that was off. So if you notice something, anything that you feel in your body that is not correct, just ask your doctor. That's it. Just a quick, simple question. I'm feeling this, and I'm seeing this, and that may save your life. And in my case, that did.
Definitely. So now, Efra, moving forward or fast forward, so any changes in your uh, diet, one, and then how do you stay active and healthy, right?
Yeah, I've been running for a long time. Actually, I was running maybe in the best way that I've run before. Actually, before the 2019 date. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Sorry, my friend. I
No
got
worries.
disconnected. Sorry about that. Um, and then I kept running while was getting better, but on and off. But in the last 2 years, maybe, yeah, year and change, I've been trying to be more consistent,
Sure.
doing activity and running. I've been trying to make small changes in my diet. Try to get things that doesn't produce a lot of inflammation, or
Hmm.
taking things that help you reduce inflammation in your body. Uh, I remember that we have this talk with the doctor at some point in time, and there's a lot of theories out there: sugar more, less sugar, this type of food. At
Yeah.
the end, the doctor
Different type
always
of
told me, like,
diets. Yeah.
you have to make a balanced diet, as much as you can, get everything in a way that it's balanced for you, because that will help. Sometimes, depending on the view or the point of view of some doctors, they ask people to do more radical changes. It also depends on your lifestyle.
Sure.
uh, i've
Each
been
case
i've been
is
doing
different.
small changes that have been helping. I have been doing my checkups, and everything is going as they should. So I know that the ones that I'm doing, small changes that I'm doing, are working. Uh, and Yeah, try to be consistent in your activity, physical activity, and in those changes. Not to change it just for a while and then get back to your old
Sure.
habits.
Habits.
Try to be consistent. That is something that I've been trying. Again, sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you have uh, days in which you don't want to run, or you don't want to eat that. You want to eat
Sure.
something else. But again, it's
We're
a
human.
yeah, exactly. You're gonna fail at some point in time, and then the thing is that you have to go back. Not get out of that sequence, or that consistency, if you will, right?
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Efra, let's do a quick fire now. So I will ask you a few questions, just one answer, okay? So talking about diet, so your favorite food,
Puerto Rican food,
Puerto Rican, anything specific?
white rice, um, red beans, uh, and any meat that you want,
Oof.
with fried plantains. That's
Oh,
it. I can live with that all my life.
love
Or
it.
tostones.
Or
I'm good
tostones.
with that.
Perfect. Favorite drink?
Man, I used to be a vodka drinker, as you know, but I'm not into the hard liquors anymore. Uh, but by obvious reasons. Not that
Sure.
I can, but I don't want to expose my liver to unnecessary work
There you
after
go. Very
everything that
smart of
the
you.
guy went through, right? But
Very smart.
I'm now into wines. So I have a Malbec Catena, which is one that I like a lot.
Okay.
So that will be right now. If
Nice.
you ask me 5 years before now, I will have plenty of answers to you.
Favorite sport?
Basketball,
Basketball, of course.
basketball.
And favorite team?
That's my. Uh, Man, it depends on the era. I'm a Chicago Bulls fan by heart in the 90s, as you know, and we were,
Yes.
for people to know, we were those that get the jerseys and the shirts and the Jordan
Everything.
shirt, and we have only one friend that was a Knicks fan, and we bullied
Oh,
him and he bullied us, but we were like super Chicago Bulls fan. Man, right now I don't have a favorite team. I enjoy to
we
the
we are
sport,
we are in
but
a stage in of our life that is we enjoy sports.
yeah.
It's no longer about any team, right?
Yeah, yeah, now that my son is playing, and it's a great topic of conversation with him. We talk a lot about the NBA and what's happening, and which team is doing what. And I've been lucky enough to be on a couple of games with him here in Miami. So again, for me, it's more the pleasure of being there and having a good time watching a sport that I you know. Grow up loving.
Sure.
But again, as you know, we are like you are my partner in crime when it comes to traveling for sports.
Yes.
We can see every sport that you put in front of us, and we're gonna have a blast. So we like that. So
I know.
yeah,
I know.
absolutely.
We went together to Miami a couple of times, and then we went to
Charlotte,
Charlotte, I think New York as well. So, yeah,
yeah.
Efrain is my sports travel buddy. So
And as
that's
anytime that you ask, you say that you know that I'm not gonna say no.
I know, I know,
So I'm a bad influence.
I know. Favorite city that you have visited or country that you have ever
Oh my
visited?
God. Uh, I have to say Santorini in the Greek islands.
Wow, nice,
An amazing
nice.
place, man. It's like you are like if you're moved from where you are and be put in a postcard. It's you get there and you don't believe that the place like that exists.
Let's see.
It's
Haven't
it's
been
an
there.
amazing place.
I need to
Great
go.
place to be.
Perfect. And last but not least, and this is gonna maybe caught you off guard. Favorite quote?
Oh my God. I have one that is definitely not well known because it's a family quote. Uh, there's only one way to do things, and that's the right way.
Nice.
And that I heard that the first time I heard that was from my grandfather, and
Yeah,
that stick to me. Whatever you're gonna do, you have to do it the right way.
the right
You
way.
might find shortcuts, but those are not the ones that will get you to do and to value and to actually enjoy what you're doing. You have to do them the right way, and sometimes the right way is the hardest.
Yeah,
But
so
for
true.
me, that's the only way to do things.
So true. Efra, and last, I mean, anything that you want for the people listening and watching the video to know? I mean, from your experiences, anything that you want them to
Uh,
know?
Man, I think that in life, one thing that will go a long way is for you to be resilient. And again, that's difficult, but it will help you. Resilience is one of those things that it's to keep fighting
Yes.
for everything. You don't have to be sick. It's not just for the way in which I battle with my disease. I think it's you have to be resilient because you're gonna receive a lot of changes that you're not uh, expecting. Uh, it's I would say that it's a super small percentage of people that have the life that they define with no hiccups and any changes. I would say that that's
Not
almost impossible,
insistence.
right? Uh, you have to be really lucky for to have one of those, right? So again, you're not going to be prepared for changes. Sometimes they come in a way that you're not expecting. But the thing that is going to keep you fighting is to be resilient, to make sure that your mind is tough enough and that you have the support system to deal with that. Doesn't mean that you have to deal with stuff on your own.
Sure.
Sometimes you have to make a call to a friend that, hey, dude, I have this. Help
Yes.
me here. I'm stuck. Your wife, my wife, not there's not enough credit that I can give her with everything that she went through with me and me facing adversity as I did. And she was there all the way since first moment. And when I needed someone to remind me that I needed to be resilient, she was there.
There you go.
Sometimes it was tough. Sometimes she was like she needed to step, you know, in front of me and say, "Dude,
Tough
what's
love.
up?" Tough love. Some
Yeah.
tough love is needed, and she did that, and she always remind me, "You have been resilient. This is not the time for not to not be resilient. You have to keep fighting."
There you go. There you
And
go.
again, you don't have to be resilient on your own. You need you need that support team. You need that help,
Perfect.
and that will create your muscle memory, if you will, to keep doing that. So, man, my uh, there's a lot of things that we can talk about things that I will try to maybe share and suggest, but I think that one is the one that it's that summarizes
Yeah.
what I've been through professionally from a personal perspective, from a family perspective, and it's something that it's
Yeah.
there right now for me to be here with you.
Perfect. And then it's a good advice, right? Be resilient, definitely. Efra, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I hope your story inspire many people and people learn from your story as well. Again, please do your checkup early. Stay safe, stay healthy, get your support system, your family, and be mentally tough. Okay. Evra, again, my brother, I love you. Thank you so much for your
Love you,
time.
brother.
And see
Congrats
you.
on your new podcast. I wish you the best.
Thank you
I
so
know
much.
you're gonna have great success. And as you know, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you so much, brother. Take care. See you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the ABOV Mentality Podcast. If you enjoyed the stories and insights shared today, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with friends